Good evening. Happy middle of the week. Been treating you well so far tonight. To take a visit back to perhaps some people's childhood days, back when they would race metal cars on maybe orange tracks, or perhaps the floor, or the bed, or a desk, or a table, or wherever you might put them on. This is Hot Wheels Unleashed, game developed by Milestone. Developer and publisher, worked on other racing games such as MotoGP Ride and Monster Energy Supercross. So this is a bit of a different style of racing game from them, but this has been a pretty fun one so far. I did play a lot of it off stream. Did a lot of the campaign mode, the Hot Wheels City Rumble. We take a look at some of the races and other stuff. I only have the base game for this. I didn't pick up the Game of the Year edition. As a side note, I do like it when games do release, like, have like compilation. If they had like lots of DLC, just bundle it all together and package it as like its own retail release, like maybe a year later or so. This is the main reason why I pick up a bunch of NetherRealm fighting games, because it's always like 1 or 2 years down the line they introduce their Ultimate Edition that has all of the characters and costumes and stuff they've released in the interim. It's like, yeah, you can just get it for one low price. But I digress. Let's go grumble in the city, shall we? Have some nodes that can be unlocked. Extra things. I picked up some cars too. This is the one I like to use at the moment, Dragon Blaster. You can see some other cars here. Amusingly enough, they do let you they call them like livery edits, like you would edit an actual car, but I guess you could think of it like repainting the car. Got some fun ones like, hey, look, it's the Knight Rider car. Yeah, remember Knight Rider? So the Batmobile. You have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles van. You got Hot Dogs Rider, not sponsored by Oscar Mayer. And you got some classics like the Twin Mill and some branded stuff like the Camino, the Ford Mustang, and some more out there. You got the bumper cars and the mountain maulers and this truck here, this other truck. It's a really cool looking vehicle. Man, some of these vehicles I would not mind seeing expanded up to real size. I wonder if they'd be practical to drive though. Imagine probably not. They look more cool than it. But you know what, when you're young, that's what you care about, right? If the cars look cool, and a good number of these probably have that cool factor to them. Different flavors of cool, right? This is it's a it's a garbage truck. That's pretty cool. Tricera truck. Imagine kids and dinosaurs. It's a good combo, right? Have a race car winning formula. It's a real shiny one here. 32 Ford Charge Racer Daytona. Look at that flame livery. It's blue fire. That's how you know it's super cool. Bad to the blade. Oh wait, is this the one that's in Forza Horizon 5? So it's the Twin Mill for that matter. Buns of Steel. You gotta have their food truck. The school bus. Amazingly, they had to scale the school bus down. Imagine people in here will be a lot smaller than anyone driving, say, in this truck here. Another dinosaur truck, the Motosaurus. Rip Rod. Modeled after a hot rod. The classic shark. Shark's also a fun childhood animal. Lots of favorites. The tank. Thing that cannon is not operable. Look, it's even got like that plastic seam in there. They really got it down to the detail. And imagine they just like took the car and kind of 3D scanned it and then modeled it as best they could. Ah, the DeLorean. You know the DeLorean, right? The power of love is a beautiful thing. Hoverboards, all that good stuff. The Bone Shaker. Here, this is a Hot Wheels staple here. It's been featured in every Forza game since 3. Forza Horizon game since 3. Another Ford truck. Humvee. A power rocket. Man, this is like an 80s ass vehicle right here. Like a space themed superhero would drive. A tow truck, because you're probably gonna need that after all the wrecking that's gonna happen. Aston Martin. The preferred manufacturer of choice of MI6, so I hear. Too Tough, 56 Chevy, race car, riveted, synchro, the bazooka, bifocal. Hey, I get it, cause like bifocal. Old people can enjoy metal cars too. It's fine. A hot seat. Fortunately, you can't win $1 million if you sit in this one. You'll probably feel like $1 million once you're done with it. The Hot Wiler. I get what it's going for there. Dog. Alien tank. Again, thankfully, cannon is inoperable. An M3 GT through. Is that Magna? I'm gonna say manga. No, it's manga. It's M-A-N-G-A, not M-A-G-N-A. The Dreammobile. Oh my goodness, that is a old-timey car right there. Something. If you took the wheels off, it'll look like something you'd see in like the Jetsons or something. Rigger motor, because like it's got a coffin on it. Ah, like a little Christmas sled. Cadillac, and up. That's all the cars I have so far. So let's just jump into a race real quick. Right. So you have like several different environments races can take place in. You have this here skate park. You can also go to a college campus, your basement room, other places as well, like the top of a skyscraper even. But yeah, obviously probably not built to scale. I remember the car taking up the entire width of the track, but I guess that wouldn't translate to gameplay very well, so you take up a much smaller section of the track. Like any good racing game that's like sort of more casual oriented, you do have a boost system in place. In this one, you kind of hit the accelerator just before 2 appears on screen, and you'll get your boost filled. Like any good racing game, you also have your drift. Oh jeez. Sometimes you can swing pretty far out, but yeah. Anyways, goal obviously finish first. You can run across boost pads, which give you unlimited boost for a while. You can run across other things that will give you increase your speed by a bit. I think there's like also sections of the track you can use to run across to like accelerate. Oh dang. Also quick respawn, thankfully. Yeah, the racing mainstay, the loop-de-loop, also very popular in Hot Wheels. This does have a bit of a physics model to it, so if you... God, that's... Yeah, there's obstacles too, so you can potentially run into spider webs that'll stop you cold, and it'll take a lot out of you. But yeah, there's a bit of a physics to this, so if you like take the loop and you're too slow, you might actually fall off, and well, that's obviously not very good for you. Every track is 3 laps, regardless of how long it is. Doesn't matter if it's done in like 40 seconds or if it's done in... Oh man, I just got physicsed off that track right there. Curse you cars. Yeah, it doesn't matter if tracks are like 40 seconds or like 2 minutes long, you always get 3 laps worth. Does make the longer races stretch out a bit too much, but I don't know. Right tracks for these smaller ones. Yeah, I'm currently playing on medium difficulty for the... Ah, nuts, I missed a checkpoint, are you for real? Where did I miss it? Right there, I guess. How long is this track? Probably fallen really far behind. I don't think I'm gonna... Thankfully, it seems like for most of the game, if you get top 3, you're good to advance, obviously. To get the best rating, you want to finish first, but yeah, it's totally cool if you don't meet it. Holy crap, 2.5 minutes for a single lap. That means I have plenty of track to catch back up. On the downside, I have a lot of catching up to do thanks to this checkpoint. Interesting enough, there's like... sheesh. There's like 2 boost systems in this game. The one that I have currently right now, it's kind of like a stock boost where you slowly build up boost charges and you expend 1 charge each time you press the boost button. There's also like a boost meter a la Burnout, where you just hold down the boost button and the meter goes down and you slowly build it back up and you can boost whenever you want. Not seem like there's a distinction as to which one is better, because cars can upgrade, and sometimes the upgrade will change the boost system entirely, and I don't have any idea what they consider is better than the other. I assume it's just being able to boost more or something like that, but like changing the style of boost is a bit much. That's just me. Finally catching back up. Am I even gonna hit? Am I even gonna break top 3? I had to practically not screw up for the rest of the race if I want to get that far. Dang it, the barrier. Yeah, hitting obstacles is a real detriment. This game. In best interest to not hit obstacles. It is usually the case, but especially the case in Hot Wheels Unleashed. Alright, I got him. Dang it, I'm gonna miss that goddamn checkpoint again. Swear to God. Trying to drift in this game is like trying to coast along a road covered in butter. And again, might help if I let go of the accelerator and tried to not accelerate through that turn. Maybe I should do that more. Early races weren't too much trouble, but later races felt like definitely a lot more. You have to be a lot more skilled at racing. Again, well, I don't know if it's again, but it checks. It makes sense because it's late in the game, but still. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful shortcut. Can make top 3. We'll be fine. That'll be okay. Oh God. Dang it. Not avoid the barrier. Let's see if I can avoid the webs at least. Avoided the webs, alright. Might be okay. Oh wow. Top 3 is right here. Okay. I have a chance. I just have to not screw up. Just have to watch out for that turn of doom. That'll be the run ender right there if I mess it up. Get out of my way. Dang it. Of course, everyone else happens to get by right after the mouth opens back up. Alright, here it comes. A crucial moment. Alright. Now we go for broke. Out of my way. Just please let me finish top 3 at least. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Please let it be top 3. I hate everything. That's the big deal about this game, is that rubber banding gets pretty severe even at medium difficulty. You're like kicking ass the entire race, and the entire mess up once, and suddenly the pack is back in your face. I know that it's intended to keep things exciting. Doesn't feel great when you mess up. I feel like there should be like at least some way to like perhaps build up some sort of like mess up protection, and as long as you stay within that threshold, you should be able to maintain first comfortably. Maybe lower that threshold as the difficulty goes up, so you have to race more. You have to race better, higher difficulties, but messing up won't bone you entirely. As bad rubber band AI is wont to do. Are you fucking kidding me? Swear to God, the spiders seem to have this unerring accuracy. They always seem to manage to shoot right in your path when you least want it. It gets especially bad in time trials, because you're the only racer on the track, and you're trying desperately to outwit the spider, but the spider will somehow shoot at the exact spot you're going to go, and you end up missing the unleashed target because it feels kind of like luck whether the spider is going to be kind enough to let you past it without getting webbed. And then sometimes you get physics like that. If I mess this up, I'll probably dial the difficulty down. Let me... Okay, good. Cut past. Just boost. There we go. Keep it together. I'll make podium. I will be satisfied. Or since it's medium, they gotta have at least 3 cars tussle with me. Feels like I gotta save full boost stocks for the very last stretch. That's probably like the best way for me to gain any. Yeah, you mess up once and suddenly you're thrust to the middle of the pack. Like even on easy, when I've had to dial it back, there are certain races which still feels like you gotta tussle with first. And sometimes you just get physics the wrong way. They dropped a 10. I didn't even like crash. Again. Goddamn spider, unerringly accurate. I swear this game is a lot more fun than I'm making it out to be. Oh good, didn't. I thought I was gonna clamp down, just hit me split second before I got through it, but thankfully that was not the case. Alright, let's conserve my boost for now. Slow down. That drift. Yeah, there we go. Did better that time. Whew. Okay, didn't hit a barrier. Still in the running, but I hit that barrier. Of course, you gotta flip me the wrong way, because this game hates me. Just conserve my boost. Go. What? Come on, I hit the checkpoint. You even said checkpoint game. How did that not count in your eyes? Okay, you know what? Screw it. Can I change option? No, game option. Can't change it here. Okay, you know what? We'll go through this, take the coins, and then we're gonna shift down to easy. And I ain't gonna do this for 2 hours. I'm not gonna get blasted by rubber band AI. 2 hours here. The tracks I want to show off. I'm not gonna do 2 hours trying to bang my head against this track to try to even get a single digit position here. Whew. Thankfully the spider was benevolent the last lap. Let me pass through without much issue. I think I read an article online about a guy in NASCAR who kind of did the wall riding trick that people usually do in racing games. And he said he actually credited his technique to video games. I think he said it was like specifically to GameCube. I thought was like extremely amusing. Oh my god! Are you for real? I'm just gonna. Oh, good. Didn't shut itself in my face. But yeah, man, I watched a video of it, like the outside perspective, and then they did like the dash cam footage of it as well. You just heard that that scraping. Like, oh man. I think the driver even admitted that was probably a dangerous thing to do because if he hit anyone going out of that curve, it probably would have spelled trouble, right? And you can be absolutely certain that NASCAR is probably gonna put in some sort of rule that says you can't do that. Yeah, fuck you people. Alright, I'll take my 275 coins. I'm getting the heck out of here. Thankfully I have a different thing I can do on my side. Extreme. Or I think the difficulty should be changed. It should be like story mode. This should be hard. This should be unstoppable. It should be godlike. The way I've been experiencing things here. In that case, we're gonna switch to easy. Now watch just how much easier things get on easy. Oh yeah, you see the mystery machine up there on the right? Yeah, that's one of my favorite pastimes to do during Halloween. Just put out a post that like just sharing the What's New Scooby-Doo theme. Man, that theme is incredibly catchy. It's like my favorite theme next to the original, of course, because you know the original, it's a classic. It's old-timey goodness right there, but the Simple Plan kind of made a really catchy song that fits and super upbeat. Doubly amusing because Simple Plan is normally not known for catchy upbeat songs. But yeah, kind of song gets stuck in your head, and boy, they must know how much people like it, because I remember when I put out that music video, in July, and they also put out like that remastered version the year before that. It was a good trip through nostalgia lane. Yeah, on the subject of Simple Plan. Perhaps my other favorite song from them happens to be just like a song collab with was it, State Champs and We the Kings, Where I Belong. Also, a piece that's atypical of their usual output, but I guess I kind of enjoy it, right? I don't know. It feels like a natural end point, or kind of a natural development for this kind of work, right? Right. I imagine their early years, they're leans a bit more on the angst, and sometimes they kind of hit the mega angst territory with things like Perfect and Untitled, and then I guess give them enough years, finally find your way, and what comes out of it? Where I Belong. After years of feeling like you've been an outsider, you don't fit in, finally find that group that accepts you, and finally find that place where you fit in, where you belong, so to speak. I love it. It's that kind of song you can listen to when you're down. It's like, yeah. I hope I get to be there one day, to be at a place where I feel like I belong. Look at that. This is easy difficulty right here. So mind-bendingly so. I have no trouble keeping up with first, even majorly screwing up like that. Cars are really far away. This is basically the test drive around the track. If anything. There's a race here and there where it does feel like we might experience a little challenge, but that's more due to the obstacles on the track slowing you down by a factor of 10, as opposed to the AI suddenly gaining about 10 levels of rubber bandness. Maybe I shouldn't have boosted, but hey, cool. Fall off this time. Might be okay. Say the music is mostly inoffensive. It's a bunch of high-tempo tunes you probably expect from a racing game like this, plus some more chill, jazzy style tunes when you're out and about on the map and in the menus. It works well for what it is. Certainly not something I'd listen to if on the radio, but I'm cool with listening to it while I'm playing the game. Not entirely sure if this game supports like custom soundtracks. Not like that's really hard to do these days. All you have to do is just turn the music volume down, and then hit up your favorite Spotify playlist or your saved MP3 playlist or something like that, and just listen to that. Pretend it's a radio, a custom radio. Oh man, I remember when custom soundtracks were like a big feature of video games. I remember playing Burnout 3 on the Xbox and being able to use custom soundtracks. Oh, that was a lot of fun. Admittedly, I didn't put anything meaningful on it. I just mostly did it for kicks because I used the music from the Homestar Runner website, so I got to take down opponents and race at like 210 miles per hour to the tune of The System Is Down and the Strong Badia anthem. You can imagine hilariously dissonant. Yeah. Now, every time I like even think of the phrase "go fast," I always think of that G.I. Joe PSA parody with the kids on the ice, and one of the kids is going, "Oh, I'm going so fast," and then he slips and goes, "Oh, fuck!" Man, those G.I. Joe PSAs feel like a product ahead of its time. Like, felt like gag dubs before we even realized what they were. We just knew they were completely hilarious because they took this cartoon, this thing that would normally be serious, and just made it completely nonsensical. I feel like nonsensical is kind of the humor of choice. Like, I want to say aughts to maybe early 10s. Randomness, it's funny because you would never expect this. Absolutely hilarious. It's like, oh wow, look, they took this guy and pretended he was an alien. Oh, look at that, they took a sequence that's normally about a kid falling to the floor, they turned it into a dance. And that G.I. Joe is raving about how those beats are so sick. Snap! In any case, we got first place. So we get to move on. Finally. 20-ish minutes later. Get to a second race. Oh yeah, also get rewards, a small pittance of coins, and customizations for your basement. Like, one of the features of this game is that you get extra decorations for your basement, extra floors, wallpapers, ceilings, furniture, shelf, things to stick on the shelf. It's all cosmetic. That said, you do get to see those customizations if you do a track in like the basement environment, so that's fun. Race another car here. We'll go with the Koenigsegg Jesko. When I read it, what I've read, the coin payouts used to be a lot more stingy. Because I was reading like launch day reviews of Hot Wheels Unleashed just to kind of get a feel for what it's like, and it was like one of the complaints I picked up from most of them was that coin payouts were like really small. So I assume they must have patched them at some point, because now I'm seeing like 525 coins per if you finish first, and buying a blind box in this game is like 500. So you're consistently finishing first. That basically means you can get a blind box every race. I imagine the coin payouts must have been a lot smaller. Like, you probably have to race a few times before you could even afford one of them. Wouldn't surprise me if after some time they decided, yeah, we'll just up it so you don't have to grind as much, as it were. Yeah, I guess that's another aspect about this game. Most of the cars you don't unlock through like gameplay means. There are some you do, right? You do finish certain races, and then they also included some other cars as free DLC, but most of the cars you have to buy through blind boxes. Thankfully, you can only buy blind boxes with in-game currency. You can't say pay real money for them for anything like that. So really, just have to take some time. There are some nodes on the field that also... Dang it, I jumped too far. There are some nodes that also give you blind boxes. Even if I screw up like this, fighting back to first, not too much of an issue. So I get to be that annoying driver that pushes everyone else out of the way instead of the other way around. Satisfying. But yeah. Not to mention, you probably want to pick a few blind boxes anyway, because if you do get duplicate cars, you can convert some of them for gears, which you can use to upgrade cars you have, which improves their stats, like speed, acceleration, handling, boost, and all that stuff. Thankfully, each car only has like one upgrade level at most. Some cars don't even have upgrades, they just kind of come maximized right out the gate, which is nice. But yeah, it's usually worth it to get at least a few blind boxes For scrap, if nothing else. They also have a shop. They offer up like 6 cars, a shop that you can just buy for coins outright. Probably the best way to pick up cars and round out your collection, really, after you've picked up a sizable enough collection. I should probably check the shop after I finish this race. Right, as you can see, they had Hot Wheels Unleashed has had some interesting DLC. I saw they had a Looney Tunes expansion and a Batman expansion. That's on top of a monster truck expansion. Oh, very interesting. That's it with year 1 then. I wonder if I have any plans for year 2. Or if they're just gonna go make Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 or something. If they do make a Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, I hope they fix the rubber band AI. At least make medium not feel unstoppable or insurmountable. And it does feel like difficulty scaling has kind of gone out of whack. It does feel like most of the modes are either like too easy or they're too hard. It doesn't feel like many games manage to hit that sweet spot between easy and hard, even the difficulty labeled medium usually tends to be a bit too insurmountable. Not the case for every game though. Like Ziggurat 2 was playing medium difficulty on that one. I did have my fair share of failed runs, but I also had 2 successes, so I'd say puts up a decent challenge, or maybe you get lucky and get the right perks. I did notice both of my successes last night were predicated on me getting the that particular perk that gives me the damage boost and the health and mana restore when I get the Guardian Seal. To be honest, I find that a lot of my runs usually end at the boss. Most of the time, regular monster encounters don't prove too much of an issue for me unless they're like in the big rooms in which they have a ton more monsters to fight through, and then I usually lose to the battle of attrition there. I guess on easy, Hot Wheels Unleashed would make for a decent enough podcast game as well. The kind of game you could enjoy the track while listening to your podcast. Hey, you could actually pretend you're on the road because you're driving. Oh man. I don't drive too much these days. Not in real life, I mean. It's because I haven't had a need to. I've been working from home for, let's say, the past few years now. And I can usually get to where I need to go for groceries and the such on foot or a bus ride away at most. I think my mom has been trying to suggest getting a car, which I'm at least kind of interested in. You know, people have been trying to at least put a light on maybe we should have more public transportation. I'd definitely be behind that. That would be nice too, but certainly won't solve the issue at hand where if I want to go outside where I am now, I have to get a car. Or find someone who has a car, but you know, I can't always rely on that. So here we are in another environment, the college campus. Fortunately, I don't think I've ever been in a campus in real life that's kind of done any Hot Wheels shenanigans. I feel like that might not be as common as I think it is. I think about it. The only time I've ever stayed at like a dorm house was only during like temporary summer programs. When I actually went to college, I either commuted from home when I was still living at home, or I would usually stay at like an apartment just outside of campus. Like, don't know. I guess I get a little uneasy being around a ton of people and having to share a room with another person. I feel like most of the apartments that I went to, I was able to find ones there where I could at least get an individual bedroom, so I can at least have some personal space. Because sometimes I want to have some time to myself. Guess it's doubly amusing because I feel like when I stayed in an apartment, I rarely stayed at the apartment, at least during the week. Most of the time I'd be like on campus in the computer lab or the library, furiously doing my work or club activities or things like that. Pretty sure my roommates didn't see me outside of the weekend. And again, I didn't see them too much outside of the weekend either. It was kind of a mutual agreement that way. I guess the biggest thing I miss about my college is that they used to do like a Friday night program where the community center would just have stuff you could do there on Friday. It'd be like crafts, games, and the movie. You could just do it all for free. Be a fun way to spend Fridays. Obviously, they were trying to do it to kind of curtail people going to like parties and stuff, I guess. If you want to do something that's perhaps a bit more risk-free, you could go here. It might not be the most exciting thing in the world, but you'll be safe at least, right? I do remember making a ton of things there. Actually made so much that I would give them to my family as presents. Kind of funny because I'll still see some of them around, right? I'll visit their places. I'll still see they have some of my craft items up. I'm like, hey, y'all great. It's the thought that counts, right? I imagine that's what kind of runs through them. I would get them other things too, gift card or whatever else they might ask on their wish list. But I would like to throw in one of my handmade gifts as well. Oh man, I think my favorite late night activity I did at campus was when someone brought in their Dreamcast. They had Power Stone 2 with them. Had some good games of Power Stone 2. Power Stone 2. I remember being really into that. I think I enjoyed the 3D fighting, and the home version also had that really awesome item crafting system where you could combine stuff together, get new weapons and costume parts and everything. And it was fun just throwing things together to see what kind of stuff came out. And we all cheer when we got a new item from it. My favorite character was always the ninja. What's her name? Ayame? Yeah. It's the one I usually went to the most. Now looking back, I think I might also have to credit Ayame for my current like of short kimono. I don't know what it is about a short kimono garment that I just really like. Something about it that I just want to like. If I could like wear a short kimono all day, I would. But I think I'm quite area, which would where that would. I mean, I could probably get away with it, but it would definitely. I'd definitely become the talk of the town if I walked around town wearing a short coat. That much I know. Let's see. Check the limited offers. What we got here? That car, own that car, that one, that one. Wait. The difference between the Dragon Blasters apart from the color. Is that really the only difference? Oh, I'm sitting on 4,800 coins, so let's pick that up. Oh yeah, we'll definitely be streaming 50 minutes, so I just have to make sure to check in at 50 minutes and see what else pops up in the shop. In the meantime, we're just gonna drive around some more. We'll race it. A hot dog. Very little braking power. Racing that, but we'll go with the Twin Mill 2021. Going to the skyscraper. This is the last place you want to set up orange track in, but they set it up here. Yeah, this one has the meter boost. Pretty much boost on demand. Boost whenever you want. It's not a stocking. It's not stocking charges like for other types. Oh man, I hit that other thing the wrong way, so I got bounced off of it. Ping ponged. Always amuses me when cars would. Normally they would flip me over, not like have me drag on the other side for a million years. I was going to say I usually like the part where they have you fall off the upside down track and flip your right side up, but that did not happen that time for some reason. I went too fast on that curve. Yeah, I am hitting every wall. It said this is only the first of 30 laps, so I could probably bring this back if I wanted. If I drive well enough. Oops. These parts here too, where only part of the track is covered in magnetic strip. It's a pretty common track element. Have a part that goes on the floor, and you only have the cones, the cones, sort of guide you to the next section. Have to be real careful there. Ultimate parking. I remember seeing the parking lot, Hot Wheels parking lots and Micro Machines parking lots in stores. I wouldn't say I ever felt a need to get them. Always was fascinated by seeing these large plastic structures that you could race your tiny metal cars in. How do you think about it? Are there any Micro Machines games? Actually, I should say, are there any recent Micro Machines games? I feel like there would be maybe some? You know, they were like the die-cast counterpart to Hot Wheels. Ah, wait, there was a top path I could have taken. E-Man. Ah, I forget if like Masters of the Universe was like part of this line as well. See, oh right, Skeletor. Yep, that confirmed it. I read recently that All Guys was getting Masters of the Universe outfits. I find it absolutely amusing, just all sorts of crazy crossovers that Fall Guys has managed to have so far. Like, turns out Jungle Book and Nightmare Before Christmas was just scratching the surface. I think I was playing today, I saw they had Doctor Who bundle up there. It's just wild. And feels like Fall Guys is like the current Team Fortress 2 when it comes to getting all those cross promotions. Only gotta be a matter of time till they bring back that good old bonus of, hey, if you buy our game, we'll give you some outfits for Fall Guys. I'm just gonna respawn. Oh, why you... Great. Fine, respawn me on the... Alright, flip me over, there we go. Alright. I think I had to stop accelerating for it to flip me over. Alright, I'm just gonna take the right path next time so I don't have to deal with this flipping over shenanigan. Top path! Oh. Not as exciting as I thought it would be. Like how they have in the background the clouds and the buildings, just to give you that sense that they built this track really high up for some reason. Alright, I'm taking this path whether you like it or not. I haven't seen this part of the track yet. Probably not very exciting. You notice that Hot Wheels Unleashed has quite a few tracks that kind of do the split paths thing. Yes, it is fun in the sense in that we won't have as many racers to contend with usually. And it usually works if they manage to make the two paths feel distinct in some way or another. Like if they make one path have straightaways, but it's really long, and another path lots of curves, but a bit shorter. Some perhaps to give you a decision to make as to what path you're going to take, as opposed to just, difference in scenery. Yeah. 525 coins, and blind box 500 Hot Wheels coins, so if you finish first or second, if you finish first, you're guaranteed a box every race. I think it's like 50 coins less for each place you finish below that, so still making pretty good progress towards a blind box, even if you don't finish first. Star. First, we get our gears and our profile customizations. Oh, right, okay, stars are just reward nodes. You just get the reward state indicated. Got a free blind box. Ooh, and a rubber ducky. Anyways, that's the race. The other event type they have are time trials. They're exactly what you think they are. Two targets for each one. You have the regular time target and then the unleashed target, which is considerably harder to meet. Circuit tracks, you only have to race one lap. They do have sprint style races, and you do have to race the entire length of the track there. Nice part is with the circuit tracks, if you don't beat either target, or if you don't beat the targets you haven't beaten yet, then you can just keep driving until you do beat a target. Also, for some reason, this car has a different style of boost if it's in like time trials mode. In regular races, it's still press accelerate just before 2 appears, but you do time trials, they have that golf meter thing going. I'm not quite sure why they would do that, but they do it. Oh, yeah, this is the basement environment, so you can see here the customizations I've made to the basement. You can see the blue walls I put everywhere. The variety of posters I have. Look at those quirky posters. Indicates I am a quirky fella. Very interesting. All the potions I have strewn around on the shelves and the tables. The jukebox is always there. Yeah, I'm trying to go for like a modern, sort of sleek kind of look. I think I did okay at that. Good. Checkpoint. That's what I want to hear. Fans are a little fun. They do push you, but it doesn't feel overly forceful, so not getting like completely boned unless you're like right at the edge. You get pushed by a fan. And when it comes to like boost pad versus speed strip, I usually go for the speed strip because it lets me be faster for a slightly longer bit of time as opposed to what the boost pad would usually give me. Oh, I missed the unleashed goal. Can I? No, I'm not even gonna make the regular goal. Holy cow. And this is like me not screwing up. Yeah, unfortunately, the difficulty does not affect the gold targets for time trials, which I guess is just as well, because I guess these are meant to be a challenge. That said, I do appreciate it when they do that. I think the Wipeout games, Wipeout Fusion, Wipeout HD, and like they adjust the targets if you change the difficulty. Smartly, they also indicated what difficulty you did as well, because the medals you got would change their appearance based on the difficulty you had. So even if you got a gold medal, it would the design of the medal would usually indicate if you got it on easy, which is just as well. If mostly because Wipeout even at easy was pretty challenging. I don't think I ever Wipeout HD or Wipeout. Is it Fury? Wipeout HD Fury? Yeah. Man, I want to play Wipeout. Shame what happened to that company. Unless another studio picks up Wipeout, we'll probably not see another Wipeout game. As I said, we do have a bunch of Wipeout spiritual successors, which I guess we'll have to do. Should probably check one of those out soon. Speaking of racing games that I haven't played, probably gonna get eviscerated for this, but I have not played an F-Zero game. I've heard good things about. Oh, I was off by 0.8, less than a tenth of a second. Absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I've definitely heard stories about F-Zero GX and how mind-bendingly hard it can be, especially during the story mode. I was also fascinated by the way it kind of linked up with F-Zero AX, the arcade version. You could like get unlocks if you had arcade data and you plugged it in to the GX on the GameCube. Get special things. Kind of thing we probably won't ever see anymore, at least not in the form of, hey, here's a GameCube memory slot in the arcade cabinet, just shove your memory card in there and then reap the benefits. these days. It'll probably be something like, hey, connect your online account to this and we'll give you benefits to the console version on the home game. That barrier is probably going to cost me the gold target. Alright, if we go around this time and we don't meet target, I might just move on to another area. There are other paths I can take. Won't have to bang my head against this one. This is like the post-final boss area as well, so probably tracks that it would be a bit more challenging. Yeah, I didn't even... Ugh, not even close this time. That barrier really did a number on me. Alright, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna peace out. Oh, we'll walk away. We'll come back to fight. Man, I was trying really hard at the start. I was trying really hard to hit the Unleash goals. Right, because I had that achievement that requires you to hit all the Unleash goals in the City Rumble, but I started coming across those time trials where getting the Unleashed goal would require me to drive nigh flawlessly, and after a certain point I just go, yeah, forget it. I got other things to do. I can't spend my time banging my head against this race trying to perfect my racing line. I just want to see more races, get more coins, get more cars, get more basement customization items. Doesn't seem like, apart from achievements, there's anything locked behind getting unleashed targets. Kind of mostly there to just test your skill, and you know what? That's fine. Sometimes all you need are bragging rights, right? Wow, a lot of fans on this track. Never thought I would have so many fans. Ah, they all love me. That's what I hope I'll get to say someday. This is a sprint track. We're gonna sprint. Ooh, hey, look, it's a tunnel. Like that tunnel in Forza. I completely messed up driving that one. Probably screwed up my time there. I'm not gonna hit. Maybe I'll hit 2 minutes 20 seconds. That's all I really want. Alright, no fancy shenanigans. I'm just gonna drive on the bottom. Alright, halfway there. Minute 10. Gotta drive better in the next half if I want to make up for my mistake there. Blast it all. It's always the time trials that are holding me back. Races on easy, no problem. Freaking time trials, though. Early ones, not much of an issue. Later ones, get really trying. Jeez, 20 seconds, I still have 20% track left to cover. I cut it close for this one, most likely. Yeah, I should switch back to like a stock boost car. Ah, finishes in sight. Alright, well at least hit the goal. I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, I always like the sprint tracks usually end with your car flying off the edge of the track, usually off like an incline, make it look like it's jumping off a ramp. There's one that took a particularly fun direction where the last part of the race has you driving up through the inside of a volcano. The finish line, of course, is at the top of the volcano. You get the slow-mo ending of the car flying out of the volcano like it's erupting with cars. It's fun. Back to campus. Gonna pick another car to drive. Go with Ford Mustang GT. Man, one thing that really gets to me, I still have dreams. Or it's a very specific dream, but I always seem to have this dream like every few months or so. Where I'll be like back in college, but for some reason I like don't attend any classes all semester, and for some reason I'm just like, you know, worrying over that super hard. And then, I don't know, I guess at some point I wake up when I realize, hey, I'm not supposed to have classes anymore. I've kind of been out of college for a while now. And then I wake up. I don't know why that dream recurs so much for me. Like, I would say there's only like one class I really slacked on in college, and that was when I was a freshman. After that, I kind of got my act together. So I don't know why that seems to recur to me all the time, where I have that sort of slacker college. Not even a dream, would that be more of a nightmare? I don't know, I'd only consider like a subconscious experience like a nightmare if it started freaking me out and I just suddenly startled myself awake because things got really freaky, which has happened to me too. I've noticed like most of the nightmares I usually get, they usually happen to me when I'm like super cold. It's like part of the reason why I like to just stack blankets on top of me. Because if I'm warm, I usually don't have nightmares. Kinda sucks. Especially during summer. Ideally you wouldn't want to have tons of sheets stacked on top of you, but I usually have several. Definitely not as many as I would have during winter, so I'm not gonna have like 8 comforters or anything like that in the summer, but I usually have a lot more than I usually. I notice especially my feet. It's my feet. My feet are like super cold during the night. I usually have a nightmare, and it kind of sucks. So if I go to bed, I usually at least have socks on, even if it's during summer. I'm sure there's like some sort of study out there that kind of links to, that makes at least some attempts to make some sort of correlation between conditions while sleeping and nightmares. Probably some sort of link somewhere. Even if I read up on it, probably figure out what I need to do to minimize nightmares I get. Fast. Faster. Tell Dreammobile. I do have to admit, even before this game came out, I did pick up a couple random Hot Wheels cars here and there. It's usually the ones that were based on other properties, so if they were like, say, Mario Kart Hot Wheels car, or a Hot Wheels car that was branded for Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport, I would more likely than not just buy it. The cars are only like, say, $5 anyway, so, you know, it's a minor purchase in the grand scheme of things. One of these days I'm gonna display it on a shelf. I just need to get out of this apartment, maybe in a bigger space first. That's part of the reason why I want to get a car again, so I can properly drive around and, you know, set my search range for available properties a bit further out. Again, I know people are making a big push for transportation, and I'm wholly behind that, but I kind of need to solve the problems I have right now. Yeah. Like how you're on the speed strip and you just get that super acceleration sound, like cars kicking into overdrive. And you know what I want to pick up once I get myself a bigger place, probably? It's this product that I've been seeing around for a little bit. It's like, sort of like a electronic style real-life car racing game where you got the special track and special cars. I think you use a smartphone app to drive the cars around the track, and it would usually give you like sort of a video game style pickups along with it. I wanted to pick that up at least once just for kicks. Of course, that won't come until I get my own place. Goal for me to work towards. Thankfully, you can, you're not restricted to the paths. You can wander around, see, have out there. Many different paths to take. Alright, go here. I like how the reward here just like comes right out of the screen. Make it look like a mystery. Or maybe that's actually a set of dashes. It's not text getting cut off. I can't believe I realized that just now. That's just there to keep it a mystery. It's not some sort of display goof. Well, in case we're gonna back to the skyscraper. Drive. Wait, where's that car that was in? Or it's that was also featured. And it's the car that was featured. It's here we go. Bad to the blade. Bad to the blade. Bad. Bad. I'm real bad at doing the repeating stuff. I know I said earlier I cannot do trilling R's to save my life. I'm also really bad at kind of doing that really rapid mouth movement to kind of repeat a single letter, single syllable really rapidly. I don't know, something about my tongue and my mouth does not let me speak good. Okay, I really wonder what decides whether I have to do the mash A boost start or the wait till just before 2 boost start. Like, there's got to be some sort of criteria. They're not switching it on a whim on me, are they? Man, could you imagine just like some construction group out there did during the weekend? It's like, yeah, we're not doing any building during the weekend, so why don't we just set up a really elaborate Hot Wheels track and just loop it all around the rebar and the scaffolding and just make the most awesome track ever. And of course we're gonna loop some of it off the edge, cause hey, wouldn't it be fun if there was like some actual risk of the car plummeting? And as I said that, I realized that would not be very safe at all, because imagine the car dropping from this height and smacking into a person. Probably proved to be extremely disastrous. Like, I've definitely read the story here and there about someone who just decided to drop a coin off the edge of a building, and you hit a person just walking on the sidewalk, and well, they let's say they weren't quite the same after that. Sucks. Ah, man. Yeah, it's always a frightening thought to have your life could just be turned upside down because of one errant person doing an errant thing. Absolutely sucks. I'll see if everyone would just, you know, maybe not do things that would potentially affect other people. Have to worry about it, but alas, we gotta watch out for this kind of stuff because of that. And can you imagine if this game employed a boost system similar to like F-Zero, where your boost would be taken out of your like vehicle's integrity? I forget if I brought this up already. I remember just kind of concepting a game I would like consider like the Uber crossover racing game that would have like every property ever brought together for one ultimate kart racing Grand Prix. And one of the things I concepted were like the idea of modifiers. They were like, you know, imagine like mutators in Unreal Tournament or things like that. And they would include things like, say, making pickups random instead of fixed, and maybe locking boost and weapons until a certain number elapse or a certain amount of time, or make boost take from your health as opposed to having a separate boost meter. Of course, it would be like the kart racing game. All the characters, all the modes, all the coolest tracks. Of course, I never got past the, hey, we're gonna just throw a bunch of stuff together on a spreadsheet stage, but it was fun to think about, at least. Think about in my mind what this greatest racing game ever would look like, seem like. Greatest video game stars at the time meeting together for one epic racing showdown. I guess it's kind of like what this game does, right? Because you got things like Looney Tunes, Masters of the Universe, Batman, that's on top of Knight Rider, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, say Street Fighter cars as well. You know, they're not the characters themselves, but it's close enough. I'd admit, I've always liked the idea of crossovers. I know some folks out there kind of balk at the idea, and I sort of get it, right? But it's always fun to have these folks kind of cross over in some sort of context. In case of, hey, what would happen if my favorite characters from these two different properties just suddenly got together and worked together or duked it out? So I've always been fond of some, like, say, the guest fighters in Soul Calibur, or the entirety of Super Smash Bros., or Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Series, or Marvel vs. Capcom. Can't forget Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, all that good stuff. You know what game I've been super into recently? Marvel Snap. I had a friend kind of bring it up. It's like, hey, this is pretty fun. You should check it out, and I did, because I did it on a whim, and boy, it's real good. Oh, I get it. This track is called Parkour because you're in the skate park. Haha, haha. I just got it. I was wondering, wait, why is it called parkour? You're not running or anything. I was like, oh, right, skate park. Haha. Go with the Motosaurus with this one. Yeah, Marvel Snap is like super easy to get into. They do a lot to try to kind of ease you in there. Like, the starter cards you get are pretty decent. Each deck only has 12 cards, so it's not too hard to kind of put together another deck if you kind of have an idea of it. Get cards at a pretty reasonable clip as well. And you don't buy cards or anything, you just have to build your collector levels by upgrading old cards. And all upgrading does is just give them bigger visual effects. There's no stat changes or ability changes or anything like that. And my friends have also said that it does take into account how many cards you have, so you're not gonna, if you start the game, you're not gonna get matched against someone who has like a lot of cards at their disposal, which is pretty nice. Feel like that. Guess that was supposed to be your roar. The Knight Rider car also has a pretty fun feature where they kind of do the Knight Rider boost occasionally if you press the boost button. Yeah, the gameplay is also feels like they're trying to kind of alleviate at least certain problems, right? Certain issues that other card games might have, right? One of them being your first turn draw, where if you're particularly unlucky, you can find yourself unable to do anything the first few turns. Most other card games usually give you some sort of way to mulligan your cards. You can either swap your hand out or swap certain cards out or something like that, but in Marvel Snap, instead, one of the cards you get is a card you can drop turn 1, and it will always appear in your starting hand. Thought it was a pretty clever way to solve it. And even then, if you don't get like your first or second turn, it doesn't matter too much because unlike other games where you kind of smack creatures into each other until one side is defeated, Marvel Snap, you're instead trying to vie for control of 3 locations, and each card has at most a power stat, an energy cost, and maybe an ability. And the cards aren't directly fighting either. Try to control locations by having the most power at it, and after 6 turns, if you have the most locations, you win the game. It's pretty cool. So even if you say miss out on like turn 1 or 2, you're not completely up the creek without a paddle, because you can still try to vie for control for wherever your opponent might not have lead cards on. And games go by super quick. Like, most of the time, games are limited to 6 turns. That's it. After 6 turns, whoever controls most locations wins. So most of your games will usually wrap up in like 5 turns. So yeah, all that's to say that Marvel Snap really kind of eases you into the trading card game experience. Enjoy it. I've been playing it and on and off for say 2 weeks or so. I'm enjoying every minute of it. I'll probably continue playing it for a little bit. Keep going. Base keeps rolling and rolling. I do like this loop has to speed up strips on them. Even if you don't have any boost, you can still make your way around the loop without too much issue. Close to the end, right? paying attention to how long the lap times were. I don't have an estimate as to how close I am. I gotta be approaching the end pretty soon. Just fell off that beam there. No, loaded too low with me. Ah, there it is. Not gonna build up enough boost for the final boost, but that's okay. Another one done. Oh yeah, you can see I also have the title Great Scott. Just in case you didn't realize there was a Back to the Future reference in this game. No. Track unlocked. Driving this one. Like how they call this the Back to the Future time machine. I guess they couldn't get their hands on the DeLorean license, so they have to call it this instead. Look, as long as you don't say the words DeLorean, you can use everything else about it, because it's distinct enough from a regular ass DeLorean. I guess that's how they went through it. You know, as long as you don't have the canopy doors opening, you should be fine. See, I didn't get the Mash A boost here this time. Oh boy, I imagine this car will have a... I mean, I guess you get the visual effects of the boost. With the flames coming out of the end there. Probably works well enough. Or boost. When it comes to speed up strip or boost strip, I would probably pick just the boost strip because it lets me boost without consuming boost, or I can build up boost for later sections perhaps. Oh man, not gonna let that monster truck get past me. Oh, there we go. Got the Back to the Future boost. Got it again. I need to go back to the Knight Rider car and race that so we can hear Knight Rider boost. Let's go keep driving. Fast. Oh, and this is also a sprint race, so we're done. And sprint races tend to be below 2 minutes, which I can at least appreciate. But it makes those 2-minute circuit races all the more glaring. It's like, God, I gotta spend 6 minutes on this track and get the same coin payout when I could be racing a shorter track and get the same amount of... Ooh, danger sign door. I feel like this is a kind of door I would have if I owned a house. I had a door that led to the basement, I would have this on it. Hot Wheels warehouse. Matter of seconds. Sometimes a race can come down to a split second even. Where did I put the kit car? Ah, that's another sprint. If you do well enough at the boost start, you can like completely fill your meter, but I feel like even if you only get like a partial fill, you're doing okay. There we go. There's your classic Knight Rider speed up sound. tried to do a Knight Rider reboot some time ago, didn't they? Just back when like series revivals were all the rage, and they were bringing back every old series they could, trying to bring it back to air. Sometimes it'd be direct continuation like Will and Grace, or sometimes it'd just be like you know, same names, maybe different situations, different characters, slightly different scenarios, like they did with not Nuts. What was that show called that took place in Hawaii? Not Hawaii 5-0. It was the other one that they put on CBS. I guess it goes to show you how much I've been paying attention to primetime television these days. Just to say, not at all. Most of the time, if I ever watch any sort of primetime episodes, is because I'm at my parents' place and they have the TV on. Otherwise, I usually don't seek it out myself. My sister used to seek out TV shows. She would like work during the evenings, during the day, so during the weekends she would just usually like hop onto a website and just like catch up on NCIS and shows like that over the weekend. Thankfully those shows aired once per week, so it wasn't hard to get caught up. Oh wow, I got the Unleashed goal. I wasn't even trying for it this time. Maybe I should use Kit for the time trials from now on. It's a time trial. Going back to the roundabout. Continue using Kit because of it. You know what I learned? I learned that some people call roundabouts rotaries, which I can see why they would call it that. I remember when I was like on a road trip with my family way back in the day. I picked up the word roundabout because I was playing Forza Horizon 3 a lot, and that game calls the circular roads roundabouts. So that's the word I used, and I said that, and they looked at me, it's like, oh, you mean rotaries? I'm like, yeah, I guess that's what they're also called. Okay, see, they have the boost meter start here. What decides it? Is this like a per race thing, perhaps? Gotta contend with freaking spiders. Certain it's gonna be my front ender. Just need to juke this one. I tried. If I get the goal, I'm moving on. Not gonna... This one. Kinda like the race radar they have on the bottom left. I mean, it isn't too useful if the track loops over itself and crisscrosses a lot, but this is a fun visual to have. Oh great, 3 spiders. Of course, this one shoots right at me. Didn't give me much space to maneuver there either. Pretty much had to be on the right, or else I was gonna get smacked by the other webs. Webs, they were pretty much inevitable. Am I even gonna hit, like, regular goal here? Oh, come on, at least... okay, at least I got the regular goal. Just moving on. Give me a monetary reward for meeting goals anyway. Apart from the ones they give for finishing the track the first time. Spider thesis. My thesis is that spider tracks are bad and should not be using them in their custom tracks. I guess that's the other part about this game, obviously. They do let you build your own custom tracks. I don't know if we'll get to that tonight. Save that for another stream. Yeah. There's a whole host of them out there. You know, you got some ones that are pretty creatively designed. The other ones that are kind of have references to other racing games, and you got ones that are built specifically to grind coins. The whole mix of them. Go with the Shark Cruiser. Still slower, but probably outrace the competition in any case. Alright, please don't make me do a mash A start. Just let me start. Ooh, it's got 5 boost pips. Alright, to make up for that, it's a bit slower than Molasses than most other cars. Or if they should have like a boost gen stat. And again, being able to stock 5 boosts on its own is pretty good. We're gonna fly. Oh no, spider. Good. Dodged it. Keep going. Hanging on the side. Let's judge where the track was off. Boy, track is a bit thinner than I thought it would be. Got myself almost falling off. Get hit by... Oh, I thought I was gonna get hit by another web. Or run over another web. Man, getting stopped by the webs is kind of brutal. I feel like it should at most just slow you down, not just to stop you entirely. That would make it feel less like, it would make it feel less frustrating. So that's how they designed this game. Oof. 5 minutes for this race. Yeah, you can see it on the side there, racing against Vega and Blanca in this event. So we've got Ryu, Chun-Li, and M. Bison, if I remember correctly. Street Fighter cars. I'll be honest, I'll probably pick up the Game of the Year content at some point down the line. Probably wait for it to go on sale. I think the upgrade pack is currently $45, which I would want to pay that much. Probably my money's worth. My money's worth. Even if it's like 30% off, I'll probably get it. They had that Halloween sale recently on Steam, but I did pick up a few games there. Mostly indie titles. Said the 2 big ones I was looking at I did not go on sale, so I will probably have to wait for the traditional winter sale for that to come around before I pick it up. That's the Hot Wheels Game of the Year content bundle and another roguelite bundle that I've been keeping my eye on. Like a combination of Peglin, Backpack Hero, and Anila of the Arena. It used to be just Peglin and Backpack Hero, but I guess they put in Anila down the line. That whole bundle is $45 current. Bit more than what I can afford at the moment, so let's wait to see if it perhaps gets discounted at some point down the line, and I'll give it a go. I at least saw Peglin and Backpack Hero being played, and they look to be right up my alley. Peglin is like, what if they took Peggle and made it into a roguelite? It's like pretty fun on its own, and then Backpack Hero takes inventory management and turns it into a bit of a roguelite on itself, and that's pretty cool too. And I saw some videos of Anila of the Arena. They advertised that as like a grid-based combat, some deck building mechanics, also a roguelite, surprise surprise. That also looked kind of neat, so I'll probably get that at some point. I have it wishlisted, just gotta wait for the right moment to strike. I remember reading somewhere that Steam was planning on starting to do like fall and spring sales in the same vein as they would with their winter and summer sales. I guess half a year extravaganza might not be often enough for them anymore, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't mind it, at least. For me to buy stuff. Oh, that probably means more trading cards, maybe. Like, I already have my hands full with the summer and winter sale trading. I know those things are ultimate. Crafting up, getting the emotes and background avatars that I will just stow away and not use because I don't use Steam Chat. Discord. Everyone else. The cards we have. Turbone charged. 5 Chevy. That's high we have. It's just the one car. I feel like that's gonna be the case from here on out. Probably won't have too much in the way of lined boxes. Not that one, at least. Alright, it's over here. Ah, another blind box. Might as well. Some reckless driving. Do it in the power rocket. Oh yeah, this was also another fun Hot Wheels thing I would always see out in the stores. Never felt compelled enough to pick up my own, but I always found it like a fun idea to have kind of cars shoot out of a dinosaur mouth. Just imagine that when you're a kid. That's gotta be like the raddest thing ever. Just busting out of a dinosaur's mouth to race. It's just too boost stock. How do you even refer to that? It's like a stock. Like a Ridge Racer style boost stock system. There's one mechanic I liked in Burnout Paradise, and that was how they had like 3 different boost systems. You had the aggression, which worked a lot like takedowns and revenge's boost system, where you had to take down opponents to make your bar longer, and you could just pop boost whenever you wanted. And you had speed system, which functioned more like a Burnout 2 or Burnout Dominator style, where if you filled the meter and then you boosted and you managed to deplete the entire meter, you would get like a boost refill, and you would just be able to keep boosting for as long as you held the boost button down. That was fun. And then they had the style they introduced in that game, which was just stunt style, which was just a meter that filled extremely quickly if you did aerial stunts and things like that. So always kind of found it fun that way. It's like find a boost style that suits your play style. It's like picking a groove in Capcom versus SNK. Capcom versus. Did I say versus? Man. Whenever people say verse instead of verses, I don't know. That always sticks out to me. I try not to I try to just let it go by these days. Right, as long as I understand what they mean, it's fine, but it'll always stick out, right? I know they mean verses, not verse. Probably up more of my boosts. We're closing in on the end of the race here. Oh, this one has the volcano ending. That's the part I was talking about. It was fun. We're driving up on the inside. You got the steam vents blasting out. Keep driving up, and it's really hard to, keep driving decently up because you're probably just gonna smack into the wall. But you go here, you end with flying right out of the volcano. Yeah, an eruption of cars. A more glorious eruption you will not see. Oh wow, I didn't realize I had decals show up for the monster trucks. I wonder if that's a separate cosmetic or if that's only per vehicle thing. It's supposed to advertise the monster truck line, I suppose. Relieve this node here of its blind box. Ooh, a hot dog icon. That's what I want. Actually, stuff down here. So yeah, you start here. I guess not to mention there's a plot, as little of it as there is, where you have to go fight 5 bosses around the city. They're indicated by these red icons here. Yeah. Not quite as special as you might expect them to be. All they really do is just add a special type of obstacle for that race. Otherwise, it's just a really long race with your standard assortment of 11 other racers, but they just have a unique obstacle for that race only. A little underwhelming. I was expecting more of it to be like a Diddy Kong style boss race where you're racing off against like a mega vehicle or mega contraption or something like that, but less. Nice, maybe. Man, they did a lot of ground. Alright. The best. Isn't there an event that required me to finish the best with a certain V? Top secret. Best using buns of steel. Okay, gotta remember buns of steel. That's probably the burger car. Yeah, burger car. Buns of steel. I got buns of steel. Menu: burgers, fries, hot dogs, sundaes, drinks. That's like diner food right there. That's the kind of menu you'd expect to see if you're like driving down the road, you see a roadside diner, and it's like late at night, you just need something to fill your stomach with. Stop by in there, and that's what the menu gets you. That's what the menu has for you. I don't think I've ever stopped by a roadside diner on a road trip. Most of the time, usually a fast food restaurant nearby, and just stop by that instead. It's kind of like the same outcome anyway. You're getting something that's close to food. Like normally you wouldn't eat that stuff, but after being on the road for a long time, you just kind of want some food right now. It works in a pinch, right? Like, yeah, normally I wouldn't eat McDonald's food, but I've been on the road for a long time. I just want food now. I'll gladly eat McDonald's food. I'm falling all over the place. Maybe this is why trying to do this on the buns of steel was a challenge. Its handling is gonna bump the difficulty up by itself. It's one promotion I wish McDonald's would bring back. It's their like worldwide menu. It was like several years ago, but McDonald's did it for like a little while. I want to say like a month or so, where they would include menu items that would normally be from other countries. Some of them were like pretty decent, right? You had like a Stroopwafel McFlurry, where they would add like a Stroopwafel in the McFlurry. You would have like a special type of burger that I think was in one of the countries where they have special ingredients on it. Most of the items were hits. I'd say the only one that was probably a little baffling was their bacon and cheese fries, which they said were from Australia. I mean, I know what they probably meant was that bacon and cheese fries are on the menu in Australia, but I do find it amusing that of all the things they could have taken from Australia, they decided that bacon and cheese fries was the thing they'd do. Because clearly, no one does bacon and cheese fries in the United States. Nope, not at all. That's not a menu item you see anywhere. Not in the bars, not in the restaurants, nope, nowhere. That was sarcasm. Hadn't noticed. It also reminds me of in one of the cities I used to live in, a restaurant we would go to for lunch sometimes. Did have fries on the menu, and one of the options they had on fries, you could add like could add cheese, some kind of cheese, I forget what it was. You could add cheese and gravy, and they didn't call it that. They didn't call it, but y'all knew it was like the closest thing we'd probably get to poutine. It was poutine, the closest thing we could get to poutine without actually calling it poutine. I'm sure actual connoisseurs of poutine would balk at the idea, but I don't know. Interesting, enjoyable. Fries and gravy and cheese. It's a better combination than it might sound at first glance. Right, it's like bananas and sliced cheese, or celery sticks and peanut butter and raisins, or like even apples and cheese cubes. They go remarkably well together. Of course, just as I respawn, there's one car right there ready to overtake me. Curse you, curse you. I still have one lap. I'd say I do have a lot of boost, so maybe this will be okay. Sure to use my boost liberally. Oh, I'm going right over the edge for that one. I really have to make sure I don't fly off the edge, because if I do, it looks like toilet car is gonna overtake me first opportunity it gets. I gotta admit, when I was at like the peak of playing this game, I did pick the shortest track I could in single player and drove that over and over just so I could build up coinage. so I could buy out cars from the limited offers shop. I think the quickest track in this game, you can complete the race in like, I want to say, a minute 40, which isn't too quick compared to what you could actually do if you were driving multiplayer, but it works well enough. You don't have to play online. Don't fall. Oh, yeah, they fell. Boost. If there's like a certain speed you have to be in order to boost, because definitely don't let you boost right after you spawn. I'm close to the end, so I gotta make sure I'll screw up the rest of it. Yep, there it is. The finish line's up there. I just have to be careful, make sure I keep that boost popped. Whew, alright. Made it to first. I got the secret done. It's a race. That. Where to go? Sprint race. Switch to a faster car for this one. Yeah, Kit. All reliable. That's Kit. Oh yeah, I guess you also noticed the Peanuts vehicle, Snoopy, riding on his doghouse like he's the Red Baron. Ah, it's a sprint race. Alright, this should be over relatively quick. Ah, why you gotta give me the meter? I don't like to mash A meter, just let me pick between the others. Oh, apparently there's also a SpongeBob car, I forgot about that. Guess this is like the downhill jam of this game. Gonna be racing down. We're going down, down. Insert the rest of the Fall Out Boy song lyrics here. This is a kind of a fun idea. Time to fly. Checkpoint point. We'll have half the track to cover. Go. See there, I'm racing against Aquaman. Aquaman would drive. Be able to drive. If they have that Wonder Woman car or not. They ought to. It's kind of like one of the pillars of the Justice League. The right to not give her her own car. A good old kit boost. I do like that it's like just randomly determined. Sometimes you get the regular Hot Wheels Unleashed boost, and then sometimes you get the vehicle specific boost. Makes it a nice surprise when it happens. I did take a course in psychology in high school. I do remember one topic I always remember is like reward schedules, like which one would be the best for, right, for a kid. They went over several types, and you have like a fixed reward schedule, where you would give them the reward every few times they did a task, determined number of times. And they also had like the random reward schedule, where you would like randomly reward them whenever they did the task. You wouldn't do it all the time, but you would do it like random times. And they said that would probably be the best way to do it, because would give them an incentive to keep doing it, but you know, it would mean they would put in their maximum effort. They wouldn't, you know, slack the times they wouldn't get an award or reward for it. Oh, hey. I guess that was qualified as the other one. Hey, old friend. Man, that looks so much like an Atari joystick. It's gotta be deliberate, right? To tell, or is that just like distinct, a generic enough looking joystick that it can get away with? Got this reward node. Ooh, look at that, a vehicle. Yeah, some of the vehicles you get are unlocked in gameplay. You don't have to pull blind boxes from. I guess we can wrap up the racing segment with a look at how boss races work. Well, like I mentioned before, they're like your standard 3 laps, but each boss has a special obstacle that you kind of have to contend with during the race. Some of them are more fun than others. I think there's this one in particular has darn, I messed up the start boost. It's not the speed strips that much, I know. I think it's not the speed strips. Or maybe it is. Okay, it probably is. Yeah, so this particular boss race's gimmick is the strips, or some of the strips might actually be slow down strips. Slow you down if you drive on them. Thankfully, the game is kind enough to telegraph if a lane's gonna switch to speed up or slow down version. You have time to move over to the other side. But some other bosses might say drop goo on the track that completely drains your boost meter if you run into it, or tornadoes that move back and forth on the track and slow you down if you are unlucky enough to get caught in one. Almost makes it a bit of a shame that it only shows up for that race or else, but I guess that that's what makes each boss race unique, I suppose. Alright, go on the accelerator, let this flip around. Yeah, nuts. Okay, good. Yeah, another thing about these races that they always tend to be 2 minutes or more, so gonna be racing for a bit, at least more so than most other races at this point. Yeah, this is one of those things where I wish they would have done like 2-lap tracks, where it would have come in handy, like this one here. Would have been fine as a 2-lap track. Usually, kind of get the gist of it after lap 1. At the very least, I'd also give him leeway to maybe do like a 1-lap track for extra long races. Probably be okay. Ooh, see a shredder. We're racing against a shredder vehicle in this race. So I have M. Bison, the Back to the Future time machine. A totally legally distinct DeLorean. We swear it's not a DeLorean because we didn't say it was DeLorean, so you can't call us out on that, okay? Like that, there's like just a glue stick on the ground there. I'm sure they're like useful if you're like in a garage that gets pretty dark, but Feels funny. Never not be annoying. Why can't the car just flip over automatically like a cat? Falls over. Guessing this is why games like Mario Kart, if they like ever do jumps, they usually fudge it. So that, like, short of getting hit by a weapon mid-air, you're always gonna land on the other side of the track. Or, you know, if it's not like a shortcut jump. Usually they leave you able to fall there, but it's like the jump is part of the track, they'll usually fudge the guidance, let you land your way on the other side of the track without much issue. That's the one time I don't mind them fudging the physics a little bit. Close to the end, right? There we go. 2 minutes and 20 seconds per lap. Really long time to be spending on a lap. I do like the way it kind of revs up. Drive on it when you speed up on it. Get that warbling sound, but warbling slowly ramps up as you build up speed. It's nice. Got ourselves the Knight Rider boost. Drop off once again. Around already. There we go. Oh, the way they do it's got to be specific, where they flip around and try to turn it around so you're still driving forward. As long as you're not, like, leaning your foot into the gas or the finger on the trigger, the button. Be able to get yourself right side up and back in driving form, short order. Just fly. Like an eagle. Something, something. Ooh, alright, got out of that before. Got to be too much. I'm just gonna boost. Boost to the end. Gotta be close to the end. Ah, I'm out of boost. There we go. Yeah, and that's the boss race, basically. An extra long race with a special obstacle. It's fine. I do wish the obstacle like show up in future races, but I guess that's what makes the race unique. Stand to be shorter though. Alright, I think I will wrap up the racing segment here. We're gonna move on to the next part. Well, let's look at the basement. It's gonna be a super quick look. It's your interior decorating segment. It's basically the part where you get take all the things you've earned throughout the game. You just lay them out. Stuff here. For example, object 3 here would to place a joystick. Yeah, that there. Joystick is on the workbench. Here you can choose which arcade games you want. There's only 2 of them. Generic arcade, Hot Wheels arcade cabinet. I know some of the DLC packs offer up more cosmetics, which I find kind of bizarre. Certainly not. That would say you can change your furniture, you can change the walls, you can change the flooring. That's some fun. Buy some of them with coins, you can unlock some others. City Rumble. Some of them are part of DLC. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Last part, the shop. Pick up some blind boxes. See if they got anything good for me, huh? Joy of gacha without the pain of spending money to get more gacha currency. Just gotta spend time, that's all. Oh, and I guess there's also the initial buy-in for the game as well. Once you get past that, it's all in-game currency. I think I got all the common cars, and so I'm getting a bunch of dupes. I guess I can break them down to gears, but one, despite it being rare. Nothing new. Wait, nope, I have one more. Gotcha animation is also mercifully short, thankfully. Well, they're all dupes. I want to save that for the offer shop. Vehicles pop up like get 500. Just pick it up. Blow a bunch of money on blind boxes. Just wait. I'll just use that as like a gear generator, basically. So you got your collection of cars. You can see here. Some of them are upgradable. Cost a certain number of gears. You get gears mostly by dismantling cars. You also get like a small amount of them by playing through City Rumble, but you're basically gonna get them dupes, so it's worth getting some blind boxes if only for upgrade material. But yeah, you can see how car stats will be improved. Sometimes it feels a bit more opaque than it needs to be, right? For example, this car here. You can go from 6 boost pips to 4, but doesn't really say much else beyond that. It almost looks like a downgrade at first glance, because it's like, what do you mean I can only store fewer boost charges? But I have to assume it's because either the boost is going to be stronger or the speed and acceleration increase you get is going to offset having fewer boosts on hand. Yeah. Can see here. Plenty of cars have yet to be on. There we go. Super treasure. I have to assume that means I have to unlock them on field. Because they do have like a special rarity. It's for like DLC cars and the cars that you unlock field as opposed to getting them through the blind box. I feel like at this point I just have to wait for them to show up in limited offers and then pick them up when I can. You can see here, monster trucks, Looney Tunes. I also have Street Fighter cars, Batman cars, DC cars, Peanuts car. In any case, that has been a look at Hot Wheels Unleashed. Pretty decent racing game, all things considered. Difficulty a bit too wild, a bit too swingy. I wish there was like an in-between between Cakewalk and Ungodly. You know, it was enjoyable enough. I guess there's a fun in seeing what kind of cars you get to race, and just imagine the crossovers that happen. And I am planning going on the GOTY upgrade pack at some point down the line, so probably come back to this once I get the GOTY pack. In any case, I think that will do it for this stream. I'll let here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back on Friday. Start Cat Quest 2. Played Cat Quest 1 like a couple years ago. Really enjoyed it, so I am eager to jump into 2 and see things build from there. Catch my random thoughts and ramblings and maybe my schedule. You can always check out my Twitter account. I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel. I do have 2 shorts up there right now. I'll try to upload some sort of video every week keep things fresh. Yeah, I will see you next time. Have a good night.